Welcome everybody to our latest workshop, how to implement marketing automation to supercharge your lead conversion. This is something that is near and dear to my heart because, you know, we can send leads to our clients all day long, but if they're not converting them, if they're not getting back with them fast enough, guess what happens to all of those leads, right? And there has been a lot of advances in this whole topic here in the marketing world really in the past couple of years. There's been a huge advances that goes. Gig 'em. Whoop. Yep. All right. Thanks, Jerry. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm not going to talk a lot about myself, but I'm going to tell you who I am. I am Chris Hunter. I am the Chief Marketing Officer of roofingsites.com. I'm also the author of the Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers. If you don't have this in your hands, I'm going to give you access to this book, at least the digital copy of it at the end of this. So please stick around. I am a member, or we are a member of the NRCA, RCAT, HARCA, all of those letters, all those kinds of things, right? So the National Roofing Contractors Association, the Roofing Contractors Association of Texas, and the Houston Area Roofing Contractors Association. And it's Houston because we're about 90 miles northwest of Houston is where we are. I'm a father of three. I've got three awesome kids. Just reminded that all the time, from their teachers and everyone around them. So they're pretty. I've been blessed with three kids. One is in college at Texas State University. One is a junior in high school, and we will be going to his playoff football game tonight. And our 13-year-old daughter kind of rules the roost here, right? So she is in basketball and all sorts of other cool things, but in softball is her deal. All right, I've been doing SEO since 1998. That's a really long time, and if you do your history check on that, that's actually before Google was around. I ranked my first website on Yahoo, and so that really, really dates me. I understand, but we have been doing this stuff a long, long time. Random fact about me, I'd like to throw these in here, is that I love to smoke Texas barbecue. In fact, I think I'm going to be smoking a brisket this weekend. So if you're in College Station, Texas this weekend, give me a holler. I'm usually smoking on Sundays, feeding people at about 6:30 at night on Sundays. So give me a holler and I'll feed you some brisket. We're on a mission to double the size of 100 roofing companies by 2028. That is our big, hairy, audacious goal, and I feel that we are well on track on that. If you are not part of us, and this is your first opportunity to in our world here at roofingsites.com, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to help you grow your roofing company. All right, but that's not what we're here for. We are here to learn about some marketing automation, okay, and some of the advances. But before we get into that, and I talk about this on almost every workshop, we have a problem in the roofing industry. There are too many choices, right? And this is really from a homeowner standpoint. There's a lot of choices of roofing companies, and no matter what service area that you are in, we have seen a massive growth in the roofing industry in the past 4 years, ever since the COVID lockdown. Okay. And the problem with that, because there is too many choices, sometimes you become a choice versus the choice. And really what we want to do in all of our marketing and our sales and in everything that we do, we want to make sure that the homeowners in your service area know that you are the choice and not a choice. Okay. Now, most marketing that I see, we audit, I say audit, sorry, y'all hate that word, assess, right? We assess 4 to 5 roofing companies every single day, y'all's marketing strategies, and they are sorely lacking for the most part. About 80 to 90% of y'all focus on just the tactics, okay? I talk a lot about the strategy of marketing and really the overall strategy. And we're going to get into more of that next month. Okay. When we talk about, how do we plan for this next year? But just know that most of y'all just are focusing on tactics. When I say tactics, I mean like SEO or pay-per-click or Facebook ads. And that's all you're really thinking about and talking about, or even just getting leads, buying leads. Okay. That's a tactic. That is not a strategy to build your brand. Okay. So what is a strategy? Well, this is my 4R roofing marketing system. This is a 4-pillar system that I wrote my book on. Okay. It is what we build all of our clients' marketing strategies on. And these 4 pillars, if you master these 4 pillars, you're going to have a wonderful framework that is an evergreen framework, by the way. Okay. From here until the end of time. Okay. So the first part of this is reputation, right? This is your foundation. This is the absolute foundation of everything that you do, just like a foundation is of a house. You can't do anything in marketing or sales that's ever going to work if your reputation stinks or it's non-existent. Okay. So we've got to get the reputation right first. Oops, going backwards here. Next is reach. This is those tactics, right? Getting in front of more people today than knew about you yesterday. These are the tactics that I was talking about earlier: SEO, Google Maps, pay-per-click ads. And these are the things that when most people think of marketing, this is what they're talking about. Okay. But they're missing the other 2 pillars here, which is resell. You're 10 times more likely to sell to somebody that has purchased from you before in the past. This is research, that's been done by Harvard Business Review. You're 10 times more likely. So why don't you go back to that well of people that have purchased from you before? Okay. And then the last pillar here is referrals. Okay. We all build our businesses off of referrals at the beginning because we're small and we really need help. But as we scale our business, the harder it becomes to actually scale that piece. Okay. So you've got to have systems in place, okay, in order to do that. And by the way, I'm a huge systems guy. I believe that all businesses are simply collections of people and systems. Okay. Anyway, so any questions at all about this, just throw them into the chat if you have any kind of questions whatsoever on the 4R roofing marketing system. We're going to be going more into this next month when we're planning out your entire year for marketing next year for 2025. Okay. Okay. No questions that I can see. All right. So let's get into it. What is marketing automation? Or really why? Why should we implement marketing automation in our business? Well, the biggest thing is that we can't do everything all the time, right? And what happens, what we see happen quite a bit, is leads as they come in, as people start raising their hands, things start slipping through the cracks. Okay. So automations are really in place to keep that from happening, right? And that's at its basis, that's what it's there for. Okay. Got a few stats here that I looked up. 50% of all inbound calls are missed. That's huge, right? And this was a study that was done by Harvard Business Review a few years back. 50%, and this is over all businesses. We have called literally thousands of roofing companies, so I know for a fact that this number is way higher. Okay, way higher than that in our industry. So 50% of inbound calls are missed. Okay, what do you think happens when that happens? That person, that homeowner that needs their problem fixed is going to keep calling down the line until they get a roofing company that actually picks up the phone. Okay, and then that's the simple fact about it. The other piece of research here is that the sale, right, is 100x'd, right? A sale is way more likely if you contact that person within 5 minutes. Okay. I put this kind of ambiguously here. I think I should probably write this a little bit different, but basically is that if someone contacts you and you don't contact them back, or you do contact them back, you're 100 times more likely to make that sale. Okay. And if you contact them back within 5 minutes, that's where the magic happens. Okay. Because you are still top of mind. They reached out to you. Okay. So you've got to make sure that you make it a concerted effort to to call and follow up with those people. In our SOP for sales, and this is for my appointment setter, and I give this SOP out to every client now, is the very first thing that appointment setter should do, whoever's in charge of that, should contact everyone who has reached out to you within 5 minutes. Okay. If someone reaches out to you via a form on a website, Facebook DM, Instagram DM, LinkedIn, I mean, there's a million different places that people can come in from. Okay. So we have to contact them back within 5 minutes. 80% of sales require 5 follow-up calls, but yet 90% of salespeople will only contact back 1 time. Okay. So let me ask you a question. How many times does your sales staff follow up with a lead when a lead comes in? Is it just that once? Is it 5 times? Is it 15 times? The latest research from Harvard Business Review, and I keep pointing this out, but Harvard Business Review said that it actually takes 15 contacts now, 15 to 20 contacts that we need in order to make a sale. Okay. So we have to follow up until they tell us to go away. And this is one of the bigger ones. 79% of marketing leads never convert at all. What happens to that last 21%, right? That we're only converting 21%, but 80% are just sitting on the table. Okay. That's huge. What if you could convert that using marketing automation? What if you could take that extra, even half of that, let's say 40%, you would more than double your business by simply doing that, by implementing some of the things that we're going to go over here today. And here's the biggest one of all. 78% of customers buy from the company that responds first. Okay. That's huge. Absolutely huge. And I can't say this enough, is that sales follow-up is absolutely critical to your growth. If you've hired marketing companies before and you say they're junk leads, most likely it is the sales follow-up that is junk. Okay. Not the leads. The leads are probably calling you and you're just not picking up, or you're not following up enough. Okay. So how do we fix that? Before we get into that, let's talk about our customer value journey. Okay. There are literally 8 stages. And if you've never sat down and done an exercise like this before and really mapped out the customer journey, meaning that when a person becomes aware that you're even out there, all the way through the end of the sale and beyond. Okay. If you've never mapped that out, I highly suggest that you do. But these are the 8 stages. Okay. We've got awareness, engagement, subscribe, convert. Okay. Awareness, this is marketing, right? Local service ads, Google ads, search engine optimization, social media, basically anywhere that someone is going to become aware that you even exist, that your company even exists. Okay. Engagement, that means that people are starting to get engaged with your company, right? A lot of times as roofers, we want to go straight for the marriage. Okay. In terms of the sale, right? We want to go straight for the marriage. A lot of times, however, in the customer buying journey, customer value journey, people just want to see what you're about, right? And see if they can trust you, because they have to know, like, and trust you before you can make a sale, right? So that engagement is really, really very critical, right? And we do this through content marketing and email nurture campaigns. We're going to talk about some of these campaigns here, okay? But the email nurture campaigns is basically, how do we get someone from one stage to the next stage, right, in this journey? And how do we get them to the next logical step? Okay. And that's really the key here with any kind of nurture campaigns. Checklists. All right. Sorry. Subscribe. We've got checklists, right? Landing pages, call tracking. This is where people are really starting to come into your world. Okay. They know you. They might like you, but this is where they're starting to get to trust you. Okay. Checklists. I put this in here. We don't really use very many checklists in the roofing industry, but this could be something like, storm damage checklist, something that they download. We call this in our industry a lead magnet. This is something that people can opt in for give you information like their phone number, their email address, possibly, and their name, something very small that they can give you, that you give them something valuable in exchange. If you've come into my world and downloaded my book, The Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers, if you have this in a digital copy or a physical copy, you have done this exact sequence. You've already come up to the subscribe stage. Okay. Landing pages, these are important. We have to talk to their problems. And of course, call tracking is super important here, because if you're not tracking your phone calls, you have no idea where people are coming from. Okay. And at the end of the month, we want to make sure that we know exactly where people came in from, so that we can concentrate our 80%, right, on those channels. Last stage on this first 4 stages is convert, right? This is where we're starting to do our thing, right? Roof inspections, consultations, estimates. All right. This is where people are starting to really convert, right, into a sale. But the job isn't fully done yet. Okay. We have 4 more stages. We have excite, right? And this is where people start getting excited about a new roof, right? And I know not a lot of people get excited about that, but you know, this is where we start converting them into our brand. Okay. So in here, we've great work. We have to do great work no matter what. Let's show our results. I talk about this all the time. Let's take our job site photos. Let's post those on our website, social media, send them out via email newsletters. Let everyone know about our great work that we do, and then show those results. Okay. And customer portals, this is a customer service aspect to this whole buyer journey. And this is essentially making sure that we have a portal that they can log into. They can see their invoice. They can see where they are in their jobs, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Ascend. This is where almost after the sale, could be sometimes during the sale, we have upgrades, we have cross-selling, we have maintenance plans, okay, that we can offer. These are all starting to be our offerings here. Okay. Upgrades, we want to get them the best shingles that they could possibly have, a 50-year, 100-year, warranties, right? Kind of stuff. Let's make sure that we upsell them as much as we possibly can. Cross-sell is easy, right? You sell gutters, windows, siding, solar, whatever. Let's upsell them. And then maintenance plans. Well, you should be offering these for everybody. Honestly, let's go out and clean the roof periodically. Let's go inspect the roofs, all that kind of stuff, right? And this gives you monthly recurring revenue, by the way, which is huge. Advocate is a stage where they're actually starting to advocate for us. Okay. This is where we get reviews from them. We get testimonial videos. By the way, if you're not doing testimonial videos, I highly, highly recommend that you do. These things are gold. They can be utilized and leveraged in multiple different ways. Okay. And then social proof. Let's just spread all of this stuff out on the social media platforms, right? Other people are using you in your services. And promote is the last stage. Promote is basically they're going to refer you out. You're going to get involved with your community. You're going to give rewards to the people who come back to you over and over again for different services. Okay. So this is a typical customer value journey that we have here. Okay. Any questions about any of this so far before we move on? If so, just type them into the chat. This is a interactive workshop. Okay. If not, just type a 1 in there and let me make sure that you guys are all hearing me, that you can actually hear me, right? 1. Awesome. 1. All right, Scott. Good. Okay. 1. All right. Right. Cool. All right. So let's move on to what kind of campaigns, right? When we're talking about marketing automation, we're talking really about campaigns and what kind of campaigns that we can set up inside of our business that can help with that customer value journey. And again, these are to help you get the homeowners from one stage to another stage in your sales pipeline or in your customer value journey. Okay. So the first one Lead nurture campaigns. This is again just getting them from one stage to the next. Now, if you have a pipeline, you have different stages in that pipeline, right? Maybe they filled out a form, and the next step is to get them into an appointment. Maybe if they signed up for an appointment, that is to get them to the next stage, which is actually showing up for that appointment, right? If they get from the appointment to getting the estimate, and then estimate to actually closing the sale, right? So those are the main stages that we see in roofing companies' sales pipelines. So we want to basically take these kind of campaigns and get them from one step to the next stage, right? And take that next logical step. All right. The next, missed call text back. This is so huge. This is so huge. We had a client once that implemented these. He was answering one of out of every 10 phone calls. It was horrible, right? He was missing 90% of his phone calls. And it was just because he was busy. He was up on the roof. He was busy doing day-to-day business, right? And not doing the business basic of answering the phone. Okay. Now we noticed this trend, and we implemented these missed call text back campaigns. And basically, if he missed a call, text message would go out and say, "I'm so sorry, I'm busy with another customer right now. When's a good time for me to call you back?" Pretty easy, but it's a text message that goes out, right? If you miss a phone call. This right here could easily double your business if you're not picking up your phones. Okay, easily. And this is something that every single roofing company should have in place right now. Give me one if that makes sense in the chat. One, all good. Party on. See that, Jerry? All right. Awesome. Next one's appointment reminders. We get them. We get them from our dentists, our doctors, right? I know I get them. Well, we should have these in place for our appointments with our customers, whether that is an appointment to inspect their roof or whether that is an appointment to do a follow-up, right? Meeting with them to discuss the estimate and answer any questions that they might have. And then the last stage there is, how about the appointment reminder for when we're actually coming out and doing the work? Okay. So these are all really needed for our business. And if we think about it and break our business up into different little pieces, these are just those little campaigns that make a mighty big difference. Okay. And by the way, while we're talking about all these things, these should not be done manually. None of these should be done manually, because this would be a nightmare to track and remember to send out reminders and all that kind of stuff. So I highly, highly recommend that you automate all of this stuff using software. Okay. AccuLinks, Job Nimbus has the ability to do all this stuff. Our own CRM, the appointment machine, has the ability. And I'm going to show you here in a little bit, right, how this all works. All right, quote follow-ups, right? Those are those other types of campaigns, making sure that we are following up with those customers for sales, right? This starts leading this, and I know that a lot of this, I'm talking about marketing automation, but a lot of this is also sales automation. Okay. Referral requests, right? We want to make sure that we're asking for those referrals. Okay. Seasonal campaigns. Okay. These are campaigns that we can run on a periodic basis. We've got fall coming up. Right now we're heading into winter. So we've got winter campaigns that we can send out. Okay. With maybe discounts for that season. If it's slow, you want to offer some discounts, right? To get some business in. Cross-sell campaigns. I talked about these earlier. I talk about these all the time because they're so huge, right? These are selling all of your other services: windows, siding, gutters, solar, roof cleaning, roof rejuvenation, whatever that you do, right? You should be selling these and cross-selling to the people who've purchased from you before. Okay. Review requests. We have to ask for reviews, because guess what? Google is highly dependent on reviews. If you want to rank on Google, you've got to be getting reviews on a steady basis, and they've got to be good reviews. Okay. Local events. If you have a local event that you're attending, or you're actually promoting, right? This campaign again just brings you back into the people who have done business with you before into their world. Okay. So let's say that you're going to the home show. You want to make sure that we're at booth 57 at the local home show. Okay. Come and visit us for a chance to win a free iPad, whatever. Okay. It gets people to engage with you again. And then the last one, this is what everyone loves, right? Storms. If there's a big storm that comes through your service area, you want to make sure that you have a database of people, first of all, and that you send these storm messaging campaigns out. Hey, storm just came through last night with golf ball size hail. If you think that your roof is damaged, let us know. We'll put you into our queue to come out and inspect it. Right? Huge, absolutely huge. Any questions about any of these campaigns? Feel free to type them into the chat. I'll give you a second to do that because I know sometimes I just move right on. All right, not seeing anything in here. Okay, all right. Let's show you how this all works. Okay, how some of these can work. And by the way, some of these that I'm going to show you here are those basic ones. Oops, that didn't work, did it? Those basic, nurture campaigns and different types of campaigns that we have in place, like that missed call text back. But I'm going to show you something really cool here, and it might freak you out a little bit because it does use AI, right? And if you've been following me at all, I'm an AI geek. I love AI. In my mastermind group of agency owners, I'm helping to run a sub mastermind, right, for AI. So we'll talk about that here in a little bit. All right, but let's look at these campaigns, right, as a whole. First of all, go over here to our automations tab. All right, can everybody see my screen? Let me know if you can see the software here. Give me a thumbs up. You can see it. 1. Okay, getting some thumbs up. All right, cool. Yes, awesome. Okay, so this software is called the Appointment Machine. This is our CRM. It does a whole bunch of stuff, right? But the coolest part, in my opinion, about it is the marketing automation that we can do, right? If this happens, then this happens. If this trigger happens, if they go from this stage to this stage, these things happen, okay? So the first one that I want to show you here is that auto missed call text back campaign. And this is such an easy thing for anyone to implement in their business, but can make one of the biggest differences. Okay. Because remember, if you don't pick up the phone, people are just going to move right on to the next roofing company. Okay. But if they know that you're there, you're just busy, that you'll call them back, maybe they'll pick up the phone. And by the way, I've heard before from a client that when they said, these leads aren't calling me back. I've literally heard that on a coaching call. And I laughed at that. I'm like, that's not how sales works at all. You have to follow up. They're not going to call you back. That's your job, right? To call them back. All right. So, all right, get this thing out of the way. This is basically the workflow automation, right? That sets up. There's a trigger. The incoming call is missed. It's busy. It went to voicemail, whatever. Okay. So we're going to put a slight delay in things. It says right here, slight delay. So SMS doesn't feel like a bot, right? But it actually is kind of, right? We're going to assign it to a user, and then we're going to add a contact tag called missed call right here. Okay. Then we're going to SMS. We're going to send that lead an SMS. Hey there, sorry we missed your call. How can we help? And then we can put in some variables here, location name, right? This just makes it easier to set up these campaigns. We've have all sorts of different custom values that we can use, in here to even personalize this SMS if we know their name. Okay. At this stage, we don't, because it's just a missed call, right? They haven't given us their name. So We also then send a notification, right, to the user and send an SMS to the user, meaning the person that missed the call. Okay. So the person that missed the call is going to get an SMS. Hey, you missed a call, right? Um, and uh, and so you want to make sure that this is all set up. It's going to the right person. Now, Ross says the messages are also automated to have opt-out messaging. That's true, right? You want to make sure that you stay within the boundaries of the law here, right? Make sure that they know they can type in stop. By the way, I got tons of messages, SMS. I don't know if y'all did during the election. Don't want to go into any of that stuff, but I got tons of actual messages, right, during the election, and I just simply was replying stop all day long, right? I don't know if that was the same with y'all, but that's exactly what I dealt with all the time. We don't want to do that as business owners because we will get sued, right? The FTC will actually come down on you pretty hard. All right. And by the way, if you are sending text message, right, campaigns out currently, make sure that those people that you're sending those out to have literally opted in. If they have not, and you don't give them a way to get out, it can be very expensive. Very, very expensive. Like, yeah, like Ross said, $20,000 lawsuit, right? And it's per text message, by the way. Okay. Okay. So that's the one workflow that can make one of the biggest differences, in my opinion, in your business. Okay. My computer's bogging way down here. I have a new computer on order, by the way. Okay. Chat. If someone comes in via chat, all right, we want to be able to, one, make sure that we know about that. Okay. Number two, we want to make sure that we can actually follow up with that person very quickly. Okay. So there is all sorts of really cool things that are built into this, but the basics are that we want to make sure that we're following up with chat. Okay. Let's see why y'all are laughing. Right. All right. Okay, so any questions about the chat message here? I'm not going to go into the huge details on this one here, but there are all sorts of branches. There's if else's, if they respond, all that kind of stuff. But essentially, we're automating the interaction here, okay, with this person if they chat with us on our chat feature on our website, okay. And the idea here is that we're automating the follow up as much as we possibly can, you know, and we want to make sure that we are following up for the sales front, right? So leads don't slip through the crack. Okay. All right. Now the next one here, and I'm just going to kind of skip on down here, right? Is this one. And we talked about this, but this is probably one of the coolest ones out there. This is appointment confirmation. Okay. This one is actually designed to not only confirm the appointment, right? But it's there to follow up an hour before, right? And then it sends out some text messages or email. You could do it either way. An hour afterwards, how did we do? Right? If they say good, right? Then ask for that review. Okay. So there's a lot of automation type things built in here. Did they do this? Did they do that? Did they click here? Did they do that? Right. But we want to make sure that as we are doing great work, we're asking for that review. And this kind of automates the way to do that. Okay. And reviews are hard. Reviews are really hard to get, right? I mean, we struggle that even with our own business on getting reviews in. But the idea with those types of campaigns are to ensure that you're following up on a regular basis, right? As business owners, I don't know about y'all, but I have a hard time with remembering to do stuff, right? Sometimes, right? Because we have so many things that are going on. Having something in place that will automate any kind of these types of tasks are super, super important. Okay. Does that make it sense? Yeah. And Ross says Zapier would do automations, mostly lets two different software talk to each other, right? You have to make sure that you do have some sort of a software that'll do exactly what I'm showing you right here. right? That you can automate these things out with. All right. Okay. What else do we have? I think those are the big ones. The other thing that I wanted to show y'all here is something that we've been working on in the back end. We haven't fully rolled it out to all of our clients. Okay. And it's still in very, very beta test. Okay. But this is our AI. We're going to be calling this our AI sales assistant. And it interacts in it on your behalf. Okay. Um, for you as an employee, right? So imagine if you had an AI bot that could do the sales work for you. Okay. That's essentially what this is. It's doing the follow-ups. It's making sure one that it's there, okay, and that it does follow up right away. So what I'm going to show you here, I'm going to actually go into my test contact here. And I'm going to show you an interaction. I have it open on my phone here, okay? And I have it kind of queued up. Well, shoot, I did have it, but then other people texted me. So I'm going to type in the number here that it's showing me. And let's see if this works. Okay, as you can see, I typed in hey there earlier, but I'm gonna type in I need help with my roof. Okay, just sent it. There we go. Okay, so it shows up here. I need help with my roof. And basically what's going to happen here is that it's going to give it a little bit of a buffer. Okay, the AI bot will, and it's going to text back. Okay, so imagine you had an employee sitting at your desk doing this. Okay, you have someone following up with every single lead that comes in, no matter where that they come from. Okay, Facebook, Instagram, Google Business Profile, text message, WhatsApp, right, is a new one that we have in our system. I don't know too many people that actually use WhatsApp, but imagine if you had a centralized place doing that and you had an employee sitting there doing that all day long, and that's their only job. You're gonna spend probably what, $800 at a minimum per month, maybe $1,000, $1,200 for that person to just sit there and follow up and do nothing but follow-ups, right? What if you could have an AI bot doing that for you? And it's been trained on you. It knows your business. And I'll show you kind of the back end of all of that here in a second. It has scoured your website. Your website is up to date, right? It has all of your frequently asked questions. It has all of your services, your service area, right? So if this bot can go out there and scour your website, then it can actually respond on your behalf, right? So this is, you see here, the AI bot will respond and contact in 19 seconds. So sorry that this is going to take 2 minutes total, but I'm just trying to fill up that time here. But this is where the magic starts happening here. The AI bot will chime in here, and hopefully it's going to ask me, hey, we can help with that. Where are you located? Let's see. And I'm looking over here because my screen is over here where this is. And this is a live demonstration. Things might go wrong. Oh. It needs to be A2P verified. Yeah. Oops, I didn't think about that. This is a demo account. Okay. But it did come back. It says we can help you out for an estimate. We need to set up an appointment. What day works best for you? Okay. Now, let me just go in here to the AI section. I'm going to show you how to train it and how to set this up. Okay, so back to goals. Oh, this is the voice. Okay, hang on. I'm not there yet. Let me get back to the conversation. I know, Ross, you're kind of looking at me like, why is he showing this live? Ross is my ops manager.
No, I was looking at it. I'm like, oh man, don't let them know about the cool call one we have in place yet.
Oh, well, we're going to
That's
get to
next
that. We're going to
beta.
get to that. Yeah, here in a second. I actually have tested out a little bit more than this one. Okay. All right. So basically, you just set it up this way, right? You set up the training here and you set up the goals. And refresh this. Okay. So we'll just go through the same thing that we just went through. Okay. I need help with my roof. Okay. Sure thing. We can help with your roof. Let's set up an appointment. What day works best for you? Friday in the morning. Availability Friday the 22nd. Here's some slots 9 a.m., 9:30, 10 a.m., 10:30, whatever, right? Just like an employee would. I'm going to say 10 a.m. Let's book you for Friday, November 22nd, right? Yes. All right. All set. All right. So this is a pretty cool little feature, and this is good for when people do text message you, which we do see that quite a bit more lately. Is people text messaging a phone number that's on your website versus calling. Right, the millennial generation is more text message type generation. So the older that generation gets, the more we're going to see that type of interaction. They don't like calling people. Okay, so what happens when someone does call? All right, now I'm going to go back here so I can demonstrate this here. I hope it works. Ross is going to be laughing here in a second. Okay. All right. So I'm going to call this number. And when I tested earlier, you can see I actually have some stuff here. Oh, before I do this, let me make sure I'm sharing my sound. Okay. I'm going to make sure that y'all can hear. Can y'all hear music? Okay, good. All right, so my sound is being I'm a man who's all right. Little Eddie Flint there, by the way. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna do the ultimate test here, and I'm gonna call this number. Wish me luck. 979-300-7308. Okay, and I'm just simply calling this phone number right here.
This call will be recorded for quality purposes.
Can y'all hear that? So
Hi there. Thanks for calling Demo Roofing. How can I help you today?
I need some help with my roof.
Of course, I can help with that. Could you please tell me your name?
Sure. My name is Chris Hunter.
Just to make sure I've got it right, your name is Chrishunter. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Great, Chris. Could I have your email address so we can contact you?
Sure. It's chris.hunter@roofingsites.com.
Just to make sure I've got it right, your email address is chris.hunter@roofingsites.com. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Awesome. What's the issue you're facing with your roof?
I've got a leak that's coming in around my chimney.
Got it. A leak around the chimney. I'll make sure our team gets on this right away. They'll reach out to you soon for further assistance. Is there anything else I can help you with?
That's it.
All right, Chris. Thanks for reaching out. We'll get back to you soon. Have a great day.
You too. Okay. I know that's creepy. Creepy to some of y'all, but cool to geeks like me. Okay. How cool was that? Give me a one. Give me a one if that was pretty cool. I think it was. Yeah. So our next stage on that is hooking that up to an appointment calendar and getting that appointment booked, right? Instead of her just taking the information, passing it on. So again, this is in beta testing right now, but I wanted to kind of show you this is the ultimate in marketing automation. This is the ultimate in automation in general, is that we're having a computer answer on your behalf. Okay. And yes, I geek out about that all the time, about AI and all that kind of stuff, but we are super pumped about this. Okay. And I think that this can easily more than double your company, right? Because imagine if you're, how many of y'all, let's put a 1 right in here. If you currently have more than one person answering your phones right now, if you have, put a 1 in there right now, if you have more than one person answering your phones for your roofing company. Okay, we've got one. Okay. Not very many of y'all, right? A lot of you are probably, you might have one person, but what happens when that person gets up to go to lunch or goes to the restroom or is busy on another phone call? A system like this can handle unlimited phone calls coming in. We had a case, we had a client, right? So we have a call center that's built into all of our programs, but it gets very, very expensive, right? And we had a client that, remember that hurricane that came through Florida not too long ago, right? About a month ago at this point. Well, electricity went off. When electricity came back on, and we were prepared for this. Thankfully, Ross here and Rochelle had prepared and worked with the client for this. But he was positioned so well. They were positioned so well. And I don't remember the exact amount of calls, Ross, and I'm going to say this wrong, but I want to say it was at least 800 phone calls in 2 days that they got.
Yeah, I mean, over the weekend they got closer to like 1,500 calls. It was just phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah. And so with a system like this, if this were in place, 0% of those would go unanswered, right? As opposed to even with a call center, the call volume that they got in was too much even for them, right? So they are still following up with people that called them. Okay. But imagine if you had a system like that not only automates, all the other things, that we were talking about, which you absolutely need, but what if it automated your phones? Okay. Now the next step on this is to have an outbound call, right? That can also follow up with those leads that have been left behind. What if you had that in place? So it's a little creepy. We're still trying to figure out and navigate our way through the legality of it all, right? We're thinking to have it actually answer, "Hi, this is Samantha," or whatever that we want to name her, right? This is Samantha, AI bot for, in this case, demo roofing, right? It's something to consider for all of us, right? All of us small business owners, we should be thinking about how can we implement AI and not just think about the coolest ways, but think about what are the ways that's going to dramatically help my business. Okay. And I think this is one of those ways. So anyways, all right, I'll stop geeking out about this. Let's get back to this. Here's a few tips and tricks when it comes to marketing automation. All right. Number 1, start small, start simple. Okay. Start on the biggest thing that you can do. That missed call, text back campaign, probably one of the biggest things that you can implement right now. Use AI, right? I just demonstrated the use of AI and how we're going to be rolling it out to all of our clients, but also how this could probably help your company. And you don't have to just use AI just for what we just demonstrated. Use AI for inside of ChatGPT. Have it help you build all these campaigns. Okay. Use software to automate. That's a no-brainer. You cannot do this all by yourself, right? You need software in order to automate all of these things. Personalize your messaging, right? This is a huge one because you don't want your messaging going out that's generic. Hey there, instead of, "Hey, Rochelle, thanks so much for reaching out to us. We love you. We love dealing. I don't know. We love working with you," right? But personalize it. Okay. Review and refine periodically. I put this in here because it's important to sharpen the sword. It's important to go back to all of the systems in your business periodically and refine those things. And this is one of those that once you get this set up, you might be like, oh, maybe we could tweak it here and do it a little bit better over there, right? Stay consistent. Make sure that you have all these systems in place and that they are actually working. Okay. And then last, build for scale, right? Your company might be at this stage right now if you're at $1 million, $2 million, but if you're trying to scale to 20 million, right? What you do today is not going to be the same thing that you do when you're at 20 million. Okay. Same thing with all of your systems, which is why I put in here, review and refine periodically. Okay. Just constantly sharpen that sword, get better with all of these things all the time. Okay. I'm not going to talk about this much, but this is all part of the 4R roofing marketing system, right? This is, and marketing automation, by the way, reaches all 4 of these pillars. It helps your reputation because you're fast, you're responsive. Okay. It helps with getting in front of more people today than it did yesterday. It helps you sell again to the people who have purchased from you before, and it helps get you referrals, right? Because they're going to be so blown away by your services that they're going to refer you out. They're going to want to refer you out. Okay. Okay, I left this to the last. I think Ross, you sent this link out earlier, right? But this is the link to the workbook. I have some campaigns in there that you can download. The workbooks that I've done before in the past. Okay, they're all of the nurture campaigns. By the way, those things are all in my book here, right? Those are just simply some collections of the campaigns that are in my book. Okay. Those were written, by the way, before ChatGPT came out, right? You might want to put those into ChatGPT and see if you can customize them a little bit more for your business. Okay. But those are all right there. There are 4 main campaigns that we talked about: nurture campaigns, text back campaigns, those types of things. Okay. And I'll give you just a second here to use either the link or the QR code. If you're listening to this, by the way, sorry, I just demonstrated all this stuff. If you're listening to this on the podcast later, which that you will be if you're listening to it, go to YouTube, watch the demonstration. Okay. Get my book. Go to go.roofingsites.com in order to get my book. If you have not downloaded the digital copy of it, I will give that to you for free. Okay. Just go there to go.roofingsites.com, download the book. It is 336 pages. Sorry about that, but this is the exact blueprint of exactly what we do for our clients. Okay. It evolves a little bit, but it's got the entire framework of the 4R roofing marketing system and how we implement that. If you like knowing how all this stuff works, but you're like me and you're just like, hey, can somebody else do this for me? This is where this helps out. Okay. Go to roofingsites.com/schedule to schedule a time with me and my staff to go over assess your marketing, see where you're at. Okay. See what we need to fix, and let's build a plan for 2025. And really, let's double your company in the next 12 to 18 months. Okay. That is it. Be sure to show up next month, right? At our workshop next month. We're going to be laying out a plan for you for 2025 and how to really dominate your service area. So be on the lookout for those emails for the workshop for that. I believe we're calling it the 2025 plan for, I don't know what we're calling it exactly, but it's basically, we're going to build that plan for next year. Okay. So be sure to show up to that. You're going to walk out of there with an entire marketing plan and a budget on how to dominate your service area.